welcome everyone to the New State of Mind show today.
Welcome.
Today, we had actually, I have to say, this is one of Karen's ideas. So we had done a show on getting your house ready to sell. And she asked in particular, what about staging, just purely staging the house to sell? And then she said, and maybe just staging if you're just living there and you want to make it feel a little bit better. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You can reference our other show that we did on preparing your house to sell.
Yeah.
But both Stephen and I love working with stagers, and both Stephen and I do staging ourselves when we work with clients. One of the things that we can do to save money instead of hiring a stager is we will go in and we will do a checklist with you on in every room on what you have to do, and then it's up to you whether you want to hire someone professionally. There are some really great facts about why you should invest in a staging company. According to the Real Estate Staging Association, staged homes sell for around $40,000 over the list price. Now, I think it's way more. So it's at least $40,000 over.
Agree.
And that's great information right there. The National Association of Realtors, they did a 2023. There's a profile of home staging based on a survey of nearly 2,000 realtors across the United States. And these are some pretty cool statistics about the power of staging. 81% of buyer's agents said staging made it easier for their clients to visualize the property as their own.
I definitely agree with that. I have this thing where if I walk into a bedroom, and it might even be a gigantic bedroom, and first thing I think to myself is, does a king-size bed fit in here?
Right.
Does a California king fit in here?
Yeah.
Can you have side tables with that bed? And it's so interesting because then there are rooms that actually you could put 4 California kings into. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of room, but it's very difficult to understand sometimes spatial relationships without furniture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And houses always look bigger with furniture as well.
Yes, especially those rooms that are empty that look tiny. You can't imagine even a queen-size bed fitting in there.
All the time.
All of a sudden, the stagers come in and there's not only a queen-size bed, but it is king-size, and there's a bureau, and then another dresser. And
like a fainting couch, and I just on and on and on. There's like tons and tons of room, but it's very difficult to see that in an empty room.
Yeah. We've talked about paint colors. That plays a big role in it too.
Huge.
Keeping it light and bright, which makes it look a lot larger.
Agree.
So the biggest question that most people have is how much does a home stager cost, and what is that cost? Typically, home sellers will pay anywhere between $780 up to $2,800, or maybe more depending on the size of the house. According to data from Home Advisor, the price can vary widely, and if it's vacant, staging it would obviously be a lot more. Stephen and I always run across sellers who have furniture in the house, but it might not be suitable for today's buyer or today's eye.
Yeah.
So we've often had to say,
let's move this out.
Move it out.
Yep, let's move it out. And, or the other thing we can do is cherry pick certain things that maybe should stay. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
And taste is a relative thing. Mm-hmm. So, you have to remember that because it's right for you, and maybe even for us too, does not mean that it's for the general public.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a difficult conversation to have with sellers, but we will generally keep bits and pieces and maybe some larger pieces. And the thing is, you're gonna have to take everything out at some point to store. So it's just a starting process. You've got pods that you can use that will store your things until you're ready to move. But it's really important to have the right furniture placement in there, and that's what stagers do. And that's they have warehouses full of stuff that they can just move right in. And honestly, for what it's going to cost you to store your stuff, you're going to get so much more when the house sells at a much larger price because it's staged.
Totally agree.
Right.
Yeah.
You just went through this on your listing.
So I have a listing right now, and it is an architecturally significant house. And the one thing that I didn't want was for the furniture to overtake the architecture in the house. And so I really wanted a look that would just sort of fade into the background. So in other words, you'd be able to see that king size beds fit in all rooms with dressers and lights and, and sometimes chaises and, you have fainting all of that couches. Room, fainting couches. Yep. Your psychiatrist couch. But the thing is that I wanted everything to just sort of like go away. And I wanted the house to be the thing that people were looking at. And not artwork.
Right.
And the things that came out of the house were absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous.
They were
really
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
However, they could be, viewed also as distracting. If you have like a big Jean-Michel Basquiat painting hanging over the bed, you don't want everybody leaving your house remembering the painting,
right.
which
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah. And so, And so I think that it's, and also people don't feel insulted if your, real estate professional wants to change things around. It's not because you don't have good taste, and it's not because, your house doesn't look good. It really is, we're just trying to make it as sort of, as neutral and across the board as possible. Yeah.
That's an important thing to say too, is not to take it personally, because I remember when I was selling my first house, and the realtor came in and she wanted to change out the curtains, and these were curtains that my grandmother had made. Yeah. But they meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure
they
weren't
for everybody, but I was really insulted and I was hurt, and I've learned now the importance of really listening to the advice of someone like that. Anyway,
I agree. So many times when you're talking to sellers, I find myself tiptoeing sometimes, and I because I don't want to insult anybody. Like, I definitely don't want to, and it's really important as well. You've lived in that house for a really long time. Maybe you've raised, your family there. Your children came home from the hospital to this house. It's an emotional thing to sell your house. Absolutely. And so for a real estate professional to just come in and bulldoze and say, like, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, can be like a little overwhelming. I guess the thing that I'm just trying to impress upon is that it really isn't about the things that are in your house. It's really... Yeah,
you've got to take yourself and your emotions away from it, because when we get to that house, it's almost like, okay, it's on the market. You have to disassociate yourself from the memories and just let your realtor do their thing. Agreed. There's another quick study, apparently, according again to the Real Estate Staging Association, that by investing 1.3% of a home's value in staging, 73% of sellers saw a return of over 7.1%.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. Yes.
Especially if you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars, or $1 million or over $1 million.
Yeah.
That is considerable.
Yep.
So another thing that's super important is before your house is photographed, you really need to have the entire thing cleaned. Yeah. I suggest a deep cleaning from a cleaning company. Mm-hmm. Your yard should be professionally cleaned up.
Yes.
Or, you could do it yourself if you're good at that. Mm-hmm. You just basically are trying to show your best face forward. Mm-hmm. And so there are times, have you ever been on Zillow or, Redfin or whatever, and you're looking at houses and you're like, they didn't even make the bed. Like, what is going on? Or there's Wheaties in the kitchen. Yeah. It's like, why did you, what were you thinking?
We're not seeing that as much anymore.
We are not.
Everybody's gotten...
No, but sometimes you still do. I know. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. And so, of course, you want this to look as perfect as you can make it.
Well, especially for the photographer, because it's not their job to pick up after you or to make sure that the countertops are clean. I mean, it's really, that day is really important. I have shown up to multi-million-dollar listings on a photography day.
Yeah.
The beds weren't made. Clothes all over the floor.
I mean, what are you thinking?
And I mean, really.
What are you thinking? And then at the end of the day, you just need to keep it clean until the photographer leaves.
Yeah.
Which will be under an hour and a half, 2
it's
hours.
a day, yeah.
Then you can go crazy.
Right.
You can literally go through it like the Tasmanian devil.
You have to live.
And like mess everything up.
Right.
But just 2 hours. Come on. 2 hours.
And it really, it's a really important.
Yeah.
Really important thing.
Totally agree.
So, okay, anything personal, photographs. I was at a dinner party this past Sunday, actually, and they are putting their condo, it's down in Narragansett, they're putting their condo on the market, and they have an incredible art collection. You walk in, and it's just, I mean, the paintings are unbelievable. It's very eclectic. You have all these gorgeous glass built-ins that showcase their art and their collections.
Yeah.
And she's got a lot of work to do because, I mean, it's going to be...
Get it out.
2 weeks. The photographer's coming in 2 weeks. The closets are full. There's stuff everywhere. And I was like, are you sure you're ready for this?
This is not Mary Boone.
No.
This is not a gallery. This is literally like, we need to show this house. Yeah.
So they asked me, what do we do about the paintings? And I said, you've got to take them down.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have another show, by the way, with our friend Candida Clayton on showing and staging with art.
With
that's
art,
a different thing. It's almost like taking your art museum down and then replacing it with art that is
maybe more spatially relative. Whereas Candida, she has beautiful art, unspeakably beautiful art. But the great thing is that if you're going in specifically to have something that looks good in a room, you can cherry pick because you don't own it. Right. So like literally you can cherry pick it, and that painting I'm sure is incredibly valuable and is going to look great in somebody's house. But in this case, you are actually putting artwork up that showcases the room. Yeah.
My parents, when they sold their house, had all this old art, family art, and it was hard to part with when we had to take those down, and then in come the contemporary paintings, and it just changed the way everything felt, and it was unbelievable. It wasn't what my family would have grown up with, but all the buyers loved it, and then they wanted to buy the art. Very quickly. Very quickly,
yeah.
And it would have been probably not the same.
So when you're selling your house, don't make it too much about you.
Right.
Yeah.
We've all been there. So keep everything neutral. Take out, any like crazy rugs that you have, tchotchkes, collections. Just simplify. And there are people that make a living off of coming in and working with you on that. Again, just declutterers and organizers. And there are plenty of them. If you need any references, give us a call or just contact us, because we have a ton of people that we work with that are really fabulous and know what they're doing and can make your space look beautiful. And it's, again, with your stuff. And there's a lot of houses that we can still just work with your furniture.
Absolutely.
We're just going to be...
we might swap things around a little bit. And we might put certain things where you wouldn't necessarily put them, but that's not, again, this isn't about even us. It's not just you. Right. It could be all of us might do things differently, but we know what it's supposed to look like in order for it to sell. Yeah.
So we have a special little new thing that we're going to be doing. Here's something on what not to do when staging a house. Our friend Bob Burke, who is one of he's a Rhode Island icon. Many of you know him. Is going to be checking in with us on occasions with his Bob's Bits.
Yes.
So Bob, what do you have to say this time?
This is Bob Burke, and I'm sitting in the dining room at Pot au Feu. I've staged things a little bit, as you can see here. Some flowers over my shoulder in a pretty location. And the reason you're going to stage your house is because you want people to dream about it and see the dream and have a vision. So it's really important that what you do is to have things that are staged well. First rule, when people walk into the restaurant, I want them to smell the beautiful cooking that we have. Try not to cook cabbage or broccoli the day before you go ahead and stage your house for it to be seen. The other thing that you don't want to do is have people associate your house with any bad historical memories. So if someone horrible lived there, maybe like H.P. Lovecraft, you're probably not going to want to play that up. take the pictures of H.P. Lovecraft off the mantle. You don't want it. Those gravestones you found in the backyard that somebody made a patio on them, let's get rid of those also while we're at it. No point in trying to convince people that it's really not an ancient burial ground. So when you're staging, be sure to think about your ears and your nose along with your eyes. They are just as important. And that's my tip coming from the restaurant business, is don't mess up your staging with lots of things that are going to make people uncomfortable and try to flee your house before they ever even think of putting in an offer. That's Bob Spitz for today. Thank you. Au revoir.
Oh my God, we love you. You are so awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you,
that
Bob.
Was perfect. Duly noted. Duly noted. Yes, cheers, Bob.
Here you go, Bob.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. No, there, you gave that away.
And cheers.
All right.
Cheers, everything all at once.
I know, that was awesome.
Everything all at once all the time.
So funny.
Hey.
Love Bob.
Yeah,
Bob's
love
bits.
Bob.
So we are going to pick our little Rhode Island spot this week. Do you have one, or do you need to think about it?
Okay, well, so I'm going to be 100% honest with everybody. I did not have one. And then after Bob, I just want to say that Bob has a restaurant in Providence called Pot of Feu, which is Pot of Feu.
Pot of Feu.
Bonjour. It is incredible. It's
amazing.
Absolutely, and it is a not just a Providence staple, a Rhode Island staple. It is a Northeast iconic restaurant.
Yes.
It is absolutely incredible.
Yes.
If you have not been, make a reservation.
You must go.
You gotta go.
And I think we're gonna maybe do a little show from there as well, and you guys will get to see all the offerings. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
And
it's
Bob
amazing.
is fantastic, and everybody that works there is amazing, and the atmosphere is incredible, and it's downtown Providence. You love it. Okay, so mine is, because we're about to hit summertime, and I'm looking forward to this, Lounce Clam Shack.
Oh my God.
Outside, they have this amazing area where you can sit in these Adirondacks on the water, and there's live music.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Fritters, you name
Clam
it.
rolls,
So good.
like everything. Also, you could just get a hot dog.
Rhode Island.
If you hate like seafood, you could just get a hot dog or a hamburger.
Right.
Here's another thing I just want to say. Sometimes you go and there's like this really long line.
Yeah.
That line, it's almost like being at Trader Joe's. That line goes so fast, then you can go and sit down and they will bring it out to you. Yeah. They are so organized, and the food is phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you go, be sure to go on a day that our friend Bob Thomasone is playing. He's incredible. Yeah. But they always have great live music, and it's a great Rhode Island thing in the summer.
It is. What's a clam roll?
What's a clam roll? Oh my gosh. All right.
Everybody. Well, you guys, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a lovely day, a lovely afternoon, a lovely
evening,
a great weekend.
And we will see you next time
on A State of Mind RI.
Cheers.
Cheers. Love you.
And guess what? We are only drinking tea.
It's only tea.
We've been asked a couple times because we have laughing fits once in a while. Yeah. But we actually got through this one without laughing.
We did. Are there adaptogens in this tea? Oh, bye everybody.